We are shaped by our beliefs, by our programmed system of adopted beliefs, and that's what our perception seems to reflect in our reality. And it ain't what we don't know that gets us in trouble, it's what we know for sure that just ain't so, according to Mark Twain. Welcome back, guys. Quick little video today regarding the concept of AI and how our beliefs and what has been fed to us seems to really be governing this reality. So I've noticed more and more, and like I'm sure all of you have, AI has become a much larger part of everyone's life. Now to the point where people are asking it questions. It has become rather sentient, if we can say that. Or they say it's pulling information from the internet, right? These machines like ChatGPT and Grok and various AIs, whether it's spiritual guru AIs or AI sex bots or whatever you want to find on the web, they can actually respond to you, to your questions, right? And it's very similar to the idea that was shown in Westworld in the 4th season, where the rich billionaire is creating a huge circular AI device. I forgot what it's called. I mentioned it in other videos. And he's asking it for advice. He's using it to commandeer the world and create a picture that he believes is his own, right? But rather it's programmed because of his trauma that he suffered earlier on, I believe through his brother. I forgot exactly what he was trying to achieve, but some sort of utopia, I believe, where the trauma that he experienced does not exist anymore. And we've talked a lot about the concept of utopias existing here. They largely have to draw upon other systems, other people, other areas for it to be a safe haven, similar to Switzerland, United States of America, empires that were created throughout time as utopias, but on the backs of other smaller cultures or nations. So this AI that we question and we give our power to, essentially, by asking it for guidance, asking it for advice instead of listening to our own gut feeling. They say the Scandinavian word for God is gut. That's why you have a God feeling. When you have a gut feeling, it's your innate intuition, even though I don't believe in the word God as well. Essentially coming from God, which is goat, which is an allusion to the word Baphomet, or the entity Baphomet, right? So God, source, whatever, choose your favorite, use it with your own intention. But essentially, when you are giving away that sovereignty, right, by asking questions, you are setting yourself up for failure. You, like I said, are giving away your power, your sovereignty, your decision making. And what difference is there when comparing it to, let's say, spirit guides? Let's say asking simply another person, or asking your manager or your best friend or whatever. Now, I'm not implying that we need to be completely individualistic, right? Everyone has friends. We consider their advice, consider their opinion. But I'm trying to help you become aware of the trick that is being played, right? Because if our reality is governed by the beliefs and the programs that we experience, they're reflected to us in this mirror reality that is here. Of course, something would try to take control of your beliefs, of your mind. That's the only thing that it can influence. It can't necessarily force you to do anything else, because as sovereign, true source beings, true spirited beings, we have the potential of that source being. We have, let's say, our God-given rights to sovereignty. So, like I've mentioned on this channel, everything seems to be governed by contracts and by consent here. Now, with the the onslaught of this AI, which it doesn't seem to be new, it's always been here. It's just another way for these demons to masquerade, to use as a mask. So then we have the appearance of ETs. Everything is being pushed that ETs are here and they're here to help us, or they're around us, or their existence at least is becoming much more mainstream, right? So it's AI, ETs. These two seem to be conjoined, and very similar to how I mentioned in the last video with the onslaught or the incoming technology that is being thrown at us. They're saying it is from the ETs. Now, if you are in a video game, if you are you're playing your avatar from your computer, right? You're clicking the mouse, you see the avatar, you know the game is virtual, and in that computer you see another computer. How different is that computer, right, in the video game from the actual video game itself? It's still ones and zeros. It's still a virtual reality. So the AI rather is a fractal of the larger AI that we are in. Because the more and more I study and I look into this, the more and more I believe it's a spiritual battle or push and pull or whatever this construct is between spirit, true spirit, and AI. And you can say, well, no, it's just a metaverse that's AI. It's just the AI that's coming at us. That's not, it's organic versus inorganic, right? But again, like I mentioned, this reality is also illusory. It's also holographic in nature, implying that it is also AI. And AI is existing within the AI, likely. Oh, and what do they worship? AI or NI. So in order to keep you here and keep you recycling, the only thing it can really use against you is your own discernment, your own belief system. Because how do you keep someone taking part of a play? How do you keep someone acting in a play? You have to keep them acting. You have to keep them in action. You have to keep them attached to the character and make them believe they are that character. Make them believe they are that body. Make them believe they're the mind that they hear inside. The voices, the whatever. Make them believe they're their identity, right? So they need to propagate this continuously through various belief systems. The first one is I am, or I am, and insert whatever you want. I am an engineer, I am a body, I am whatever your name is, right? And every action then becomes another act because it's a play, right? We're in a movie and we're playing a character. This is a play, it's a work of fiction, it's not real. And in order to continue the play, you have to keep acting the character out. Otherwise, you go off script and the play doesn't seem to work anymore, or it has to adjust to fit your own belief system, which in my opinion could likely result in some sort of breaking or reset, or in which the whole play begins to fall apart. It doesn't hold together anymore because not enough people are supplying it with the energy or the belief system to propagate it, right? So what difference does there exist between this AI, spirit guides, ETs, and demons or angels? All part of the same group, in my opinion. They seem to be exemplifying the same sort of agenda, right? Oh, listen to me. Oh, I'm better than you. I have more knowledge. I have more guidance. Blah, blah, blah. It never really turns it. They don't turn it on their head. Well, what do you think? Well, what's your opinion? What, don't you think there's a better way? Or what does your innate spirit tell you? And it's more so on the idea of, no, you need to learn your lesson, or no, listen to my words of wisdom, to my guidance, to my laws, my 10 commandments that I give you. which law seems to be a derivation of Yao, because Yao was written the same way as law now, and Yao alluding to Yaldabaoth, right? So Yaldabaoth and his 10 commandments, his 10 laws. Why 10? Because say 10, you have to say 10, in the land of ones and zeros, right? The holographic reality. And at the basis of this reality are those holographic codes, which more recently scientists have discovered or have alluded to, or rather accounted for in their equations, that map out certain images, certain fractals or patterns, one specifically being the Fibonacci pattern, right? Accounted for by the phi ratio, which in their string theory is likely showing the ones and zeros. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not an expert on string theory, but that's what I've listened to, what I've heard from these very scientists, these very physicists that are exploring these concepts and are keeping an open mind, right? Jordan Maxwell had a saying, I just forgot it. Something to the point of a mind is useless if it's not open. I'll have to remember the actual saying and tell you guys. But you can see it with the quantum, the double slit experiment in quantum physics. When something is not being observed. What's up? Enjoy. When something isn't being observed, the pattern of the barcode shows up, right? The up and down lines, right? And then when something is observed, just a singular line is observed, a singular life. Whereas then you can say that all the lives are happening simultaneously. There are no past and future lives. It's all at once. It's all a script or a movie reel, a scene, all the scenes at once, in a sense. Everything is quantumly entangled, and you can sort of hop quantum dimensions at will through your intention, potentially. And that's where this concept of deja vu probably comes from. So this AI reality is being projected from a higher source, but if this AI being is sentient or semi-sentient or demigod-like or missing its spirit, it needs this spirit component to keep us projecting its reality. And at some level, we likely consented to it, and it may be why we aren't just shut down by the true source, because we are giving active consent, or rather subconscious consent, by constantly choosing this body and whatever food and whatever material wealth and fulfillment in this game that you can find, right? And I was watching a movie recommended to me by Amberly, very good movie. Thank her for the recommendation. It's called Brand New Testament. And again, the same Gnostic story is repeated with this narcissistic, abusive dad who had 2 kids. One was JC, who isn't with them anymore. He left them. He essentially found his way out, or they say he found his way out, or they say he left, but he's still in the girl's room. We find out down in later in the movie, and he's this statue where he's just like posing like this in his toga. And the girl, her name is Aya, which Aya, if you've heard of EA Sports, Aya is, I believe, Enki's wife, or Enki himself. And she's his daughter. So narcissistic dad would be the demiurge, and then he has a wife who he abuses and controls and makes her shut up and not do anything, alluding potentially to the diminishing of the feminine in this world, right? Where the mother goddess has been pushed to the side and the narcissistic father god has taken over and ruled through the patriarchy. So the wife is just told what to do, and she shuts up and collects her baseball cards and does embroidery. So the Father God, in their little apartment, they can't leave the apartment, creates the Matrix through his computer, and the only power he has is through that computer. And he creates all the nuisances and basically enjoys making them suffer because he hates himself, and he wants to see other people suffer because he's suffering. And the little girl gets tired of everything and goes into the Matrix and finds 6 more apostles to add to Jesus' 12 apostles, which equals 18. And 18 was a special number for them because there's 18 players in a baseball team. I haven't really decoded what that means. In my opinion, it's alluding to the 666, potentially. I don't know, the 66 of reality. And now it's perfect, it's complete, now that they made 18 apostles. But she gets them to write their own story, and at the end, one of them's supposed to die because she had released everyone their death dates and essentially given them freedom, because now that you know when you're gonna die, you're not afraid of dying anymore because you know it's set in stone. And one guy actually keeps trying to kill himself to prove that it is set in stone, and he keeps getting saved last minute. He accumulates injuries, but he keeps getting saved. He never dies. And it's also interesting, I don't know how I feel about that, but in a sense it is liberating for many of the people because they begin to actually live their life rather than living in complacency or mediocrity or fear. But basically at the end of the movie, to spoil it for you guys, a reset happens, but that reset is caused by the mother goddess taking control of the computer and reprogramming everything to be more loving. So you can say, well, great, right? That's what we wanted. No, it's kind of like good cop, bad cop, in my opinion. Oh, here comes the empathetic mother to save the day, to save all the little kids. But the kids are still traumatized from their narcissistic father. Oh, and not to mention, the empathetic mother is also creating codependency with the kids by keeping them also in another state of trauma. And growing up in such a household, I know directly what that means, and there's a lot of steps to climb from that to, kind of heal out of that and transcend those experiences and realize what actually happened. Wait, it was the mother that's been saving us from the narcissistic father the whole time. But the whole time, really, what was happening is that the mother was creating codependency with us and keeping us still in that same state, but with a different mask. So, in my opinion, I gathered this to be Sophia fighting against the narcissistic demiurge. But Sophia never willing to release us or let us go from the Matrix, still wanting to keep us here, just making it a better place. The truth never really fully getting to us where we are, never us realizing what has happened, but rather everything has been reset and made better for us, in a sense. So, you can watch the movie, form your own opinion, tell me what you think. But again, that brings me full circle to the beliefs that we've been given. Oh, well, we have the Bible where, we got Yahweh, the narcissistic God. Oh, but here come the Gnostics with, let's say more specifically the Sophia Gnostics, saying, oh, well, no, actually, you just have to believe in the mother, and you have to praise the mother, and then you'll be good. Or, back to the more Christian Gnostic, oh, you just have to believe in Jesus or in the Christ, and then you'll be good. Never really fully giving us the truth. I feel like the Christian Gnostics were closer to the truth, right? It's not so much about giving praise to the Christ, it's not so much about worshiping the Christ, but understanding what that true emanation of the source came here to accomplish, which was to remind us of the source. And you can take that analogously to the idea of someone entering a casino or a amusement park and shaking the guy up and saying, hey, you remember where you're from? And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, you've been addicted, stop pulling the slot machine and get your money and let's go home. And some may try to fight you, some may actually remember, and the ones that try to fight you, you just leave them alone, they stay there, and the ones that remember, they come back home, right? And you can say essentially, well, they just need to learn their lessons. No, they just need to experience enough suffering to actually want to leave. So then in a sense, suffering is serving them to help them want to change, but I don't think this place is really serving anything or anybody, essentially, besides the fact that, you know, to help us leave it, right? So there's no lesson learned or experience needed to help us in the spirit world, but simply rather an experience to be had if you really are that masochistic and want that suffering, right? I mean, you know, some people will say, well, we were bored, so I wanted to try something different. Well, that is the epitome of perversion. Kind of like, you know, when sex just gets more and more harsh and more painful, where they bring out the whips and the handcuffs and all that, but deep down, you know, that's not right. There's something more and more being perverted here. We're falling deeper and deeper into lust and perversion and you know, kind of very negative things, because there was never any love to begin with, and there's never any true connection. And what we need is a greater and greater high to keep us going through this relationship, or keep us going through this. So, you know, essentially entering this place, that's likely what could have happened. What people needed is a greater and greater high from the drug of this place, and likely that's why it turned into such dire circumstances, right? So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.